All right.
God damn it, Bobby! I need you to start the record.
Fuckhead, we're recording.
Okay, we're recording. Get into the angle.
Hey, give me my water bottle, please.
Oh, fuck.
Why are you staying in the chair, dumbass?
This edit's gonna be fun.
Oh, absolutely third.
It'll take 2 seconds for you to make this cut.
Yeah, I might keep it though.
I might keep it though.
Welcome to the Word Podcast. Today we are discussing Pokemon in its modern state. Come join us for an hour and a half of fun, community, and friendship.
Welcome to Word Productions.
This is going so smoothly.
Try again, Zach.
Oh, no, keep it. This roll.
Welcome to Word Productions. Over on the far left is Evan.
I guess it is left. Hi, I'm Evan.
Right here we have Nick.
The one, the only Nick.
And then I'm Zach. And we're today going to be talking about the downfall of Pokemon. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be discussing as to why Pokemon is, what direction it's going into, what exactly they have for the plans of the future. We're going to be going over some of the stuff that they've done in the past, some of the worst stuff that they've done in the past. Plenty of things that really just makes us question as to what's going on in the Pokemon company as a general.
It's a very good question. Honestly, it's worth the discussion. So, the Game Freak has been doing Pokemon for the past almost 30 years.
It has been 30 years.
Yeah, it's been kind of a weird slope,
Right.
We have our golden eras, and then we move into these other parts, and then the experimental stuff, and with that being said, start us off, Zach. Let's see what we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna start off with an easy one, just to get us going here, which is which generation of Pokemon was your favorite and why? So, Evan, if you'd like to kick it off.
Yeah, I'll start us. I think it's pretty easy. It's not this one that's currently in my hand. This is Gen 4. I'm a Gen 3 boy.
Oh, yeah.
Emerald is my favorite game. To kind of jump ahead a little bit. Emerald's so good. I love the legendaries. I think the story is just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the characters are easy to like. I think that there's a certain je ne sais quoi to the pixel art that is just missing nowadays with the 3D art. So that's just personal. But
Is that the one that you started with, right?
no, I'm old as shit. I started with Fire Red.
No shit.
So I started with Fire Red. I played through Fire Red.
But that's technically part of Generation 3, though.
Oh, yeah, it's that Game Boy Advance era, right? So, I started with that, and then I moved on to Emerald. Well, I moved on to Emerald, then I went on to, not Platinum, but Diamond. So, that's my starting era of Pokemon. But I also had, Stadium, Coliseum, all these other...
Gale of Darkness.
I had Gale of Darkness. Gale of Darkness is the fucking shit, dude. That game's awesome. Nicholas?
That is me. So, when I was 10 years old, my sister got a DSi for her birthday, and with it, a copy of Pokemon White. This is Pokemon Black, but she got a copy of Pokemon White.
You're talking to us.
Yes, I can talk to both of you fuckers. So, I'm in the middle though, so what do I do? That's why I look at the camera. But yes, she got a copy of Pokemon White, and I remember she'd go to sleep, and I would steal her DSi and I'd play Pokemon White, and I was enamored by Generation 5. This is my baby right here. I would never say I'm super close with Pokemon, but this is my banger right here. There is such a vibe with Generation 5. It has just this level of darkness and of narrative focus that always appeals to me in what I love in gaming, right? And even from a young age, and I remember I got this copy, I got Pokemon Black and my own DSi for that Christmas, and even as a kid, the more narrative focus, the deeper themes, the more... It felt like it told more of a story and it had more to say than most of the Pokemon games. And it kind of went somewhere where no other Pokemon games after it. I respect the risk of having a completely new slate of Pokemon, even though some do look like crap. Garbodor looks like garbage. He literally is garbage. And also this game is the perfection of pixel art Pokemon. It is the best sprites. It's the best Pokemon ever looked, in my opinion. I never really liked how Pokemon looked as a 3D game. I always thought it looked really generic. To me, this was the best Pokemon ever looked. I love these games to death. I really like the respect that they are getting nowadays. I feel like for a long time they didn't, but I feel like, the people who grew up with these are finally like coming of age to start talking about them on the internet.
Absolutely.
Including me. Yeah, no. Love this.
No, that's fair. That's completely fair. Personally, I grew up as a Gen 4 boy. That's the game I started with. I started with Diamond as my first game ever, and it truly resonated with me right from the beginning. As a 7-year-old kid, you're just trying to figure out as to what's going on with just the story and how to navigate through this just mysterious world that you've never experienced before. And oh my gosh, dude, I have some fun times with that game. There's a reason as to why I played that game over a dozen times in a row. I have Platinum and I continue to play it again and again. Same with Diamond, and oh my gosh. Now, I'm holding Soul Silver right here, which I have no problem with. I do enjoy Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum were definitely my jam for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The reason as to why I think they're the best, in my opinion, is just because the amount of Pokemon that they brought back, the amount of new evolutions that they brought into Generation 4, such as Electivire, Magnemortar. Oh man, the list goes on, and it just resonates it really connects with some of the older generations, as well as brings its own unique and, how do I say, just star-studded quality to the games in general, with not just the story, but just the map of Sinnoh. Absolutely love Mount Coronet and Spirit Pillar. All just the history and the storytelling behind the legendaries are phenomenal. So that's the way I see it for the Gen 4 games.
To bounce off a little bit here, I think both of these are great answers. I think we all said great answers, obviously. Yeah. I love Sinnoh's region a lot. I think that the areas are very distinct, and I love the map. You brought up the Sinnoh map. It's incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
And with yours, I think it's the last great generation of Pokemon.
Yes, Gen 5, yeah.
People shit on, like, the Trubbish and, like, the garbage Pokemon, whatever.
Vanillux, the ice cream Pokemon.
Like, those are all weird designs, but they at least feel like Pokemon.
And I think that doesn't give enough room for the designs that are awesome. Like, Escadrill is awesome.
Yeah. Right. And, like, not
Chandelure. That's my homie. Chandelure's so cool.
Chandelure definitely deserves it.
And I believe that's the generation with Froakie, right?
No. Froakie was the generation afterward.
That was Gen 6.
That was
Gen 6, yeah.
I'm an old Pokemon fan. Don't mind me, guys. Don't.
That was Greninja, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's one of the better designs for a lit starter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, we're hitting in the era of Pokemon where things are weird. That's the last time it felt less weird.
That was it was the last time when things felt normal, right? As I said, it had the traditional sprite designs that Pokemon had forever, right?
Now, don't get me wrong, the starters from Unova, not necessarily the best of quality, or that they don't get appreciated as much. Nowadays, they're getting different forms, like Megas, and different forms like Hisuian form from Legends Arceus. Oshawa's definitely getting the love. Same with Emboar. Just some superiors out here just getting left out of the bunch, I guess. But
Green Snake.
Green Snake, yes.
Yes, the designs were truly lackluster, and the best design of the bunch was definitely Oshawa's line for sure. But I do agree that Generation 5 has been hated on for so many years for unknown reasons.
I think Black and Black 2 both hold like a great narrative.
Oh,
and it's more just the vibe of them too.
From what I've seen in the discussions online, I believe that it's not undebated, but more is it's a common consensus that it has the best storyline.
Right.
Pokemon.
I think that was like an early sign for me where I love narrative in video games, right? Like that's my thing, that's my jam, where I love like a narrative focused game. So I think it kind of reflects my own game taste onto Pokemon to say that this generation is definitely my favorite, and it was the first one I played too. So it definitely has like that.
There's a lot of nostalgia in that. That's why
sure.
That's why Emerald's still my favorite. Like I'll come back to it and still have fun with it, but it's also a lot of nostalgia, which kind of leads into what Pokemon is having a problem with currently, which is like the original 151 are kind of the most popular cards you want to collect. Most of the Pokemon like that people want to be around and want to see are the ones from the Game Boy era. So going from Game Boy original all the way to the advanced games, right?
Yes.
Like they just don't. People aren't necessarily drawn to these older, these newer DS games, they're starting to get their flowers with Platinum.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like from there to me, it's hard to like enjoy a lot of these games nowadays. You know, like it just nothing is really drawing me in anymore. You know, and it sucks because Pokemon is the franchise, right?
Yes.
Like if you're looking at the most popular franchises on the planet, it's like Hello Kitty and Pokemon, right? Like it's nuts.
Well, to be fair, Pokemon has the largest IP on the planet.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But like like when you look at like stats and popular or whatever, like it's stupid shit, right?
No, it is. I checked it.
Oh, for real?
It's
Jesus, it might have changed.
I don't know how you quantitate that.
It's
I think it's based off of sales.
Yeah, it's
like,
based off of sales with merchandise, games, everything
Oh,
overall.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it's based on popularity as a whole.
Right. But going to the next question, because we kind of went through to the second one, but we have like a prompt with a bunch of questions on it that Zach wrote. Which Pokemon game was the most challenging? Which one was the easiest? I think the easiest one for me.
I think you skipped the question, buddy.
Oh, did I? Well, we said the second one.
Oh yeah, we kind of did. Yeah.
And like, what's the worst one?
What,
Fucking any of the ones on the Switch. Like,
oh, that's fair. Oh, okay.
like I'm sorry, but like these 3D Pokemon
I mean,
games have been running like shit.
I completely agree with that. They run like crap, and they don't have any.
And none of these games have like great starters.
No.
None of the Pokemon designs are.
I will debate Sword and Shield actually had some good starters there, and they actually had some good Pokemon, as well as the games itself.
Like Honedge, the Sword and Shield one, and then I like the legendaries out of that game. Yeah. Like, there's some good design. Like, there's not flowers to be had in these newer games, but like, you know, if you're looking at the worst game, if you said Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, I would be like, yeah, that's pretty valid. You know what I mean?
For my personal preference, I would have to say Sun and Moon. And not necessarily because of how they ran or like the Pokemon designs. There were some Pokemon designs that were pretty cool in there. Like I do love the Alolan Vulpix. That is so cool that they put into an ice type.
I think Alolan and Hinshuin and stuff like that are great additions.
Yes.
Like having region specific Pokemon, it makes it feel like animals, right?
Yes.
Because that's what Pokemon are. They're fucking animals.
Right.
So like you go into a Pokemon generation with like exclusive versions of that are different types and stuff like that. It makes it interesting. Like it gives evolution an idea more, you know, like an extra layer.
But the reason as to why I think that Sun and Moon are the worst is because it took a step away from the whole gym leader philosophy. That really
it did, and like the thing is we'll get into this later, but I think Pokemon Sun and Moon came out right after Pokemon Go came out. Right. And it was
Pokemon Go.
And it was Pokemon Go was such a huge flip for the Pokemon community. Because the audience very much became the people who had been playing these games forever. The people who bought a Game Boy, who played Pokemon Blue and Red, right, who have been playing it since then, and the people who played Pokemon Go, who bought a 3DS, who bought a Switch to play them. And obviously that second community was so much bigger than the first. And I've met people who didn't grow up playing Pokemon, but who downloaded Pokemon Go on their phone, and Pokemon went to the polls, right? And you know, walked all over their communities to go catch Pokemon, right? And I think a lot of like Pokemon games after Sun and Moon very much went in a very, very casual direction. It's Pokemon. It's not like it's a Souls-like, right? It's always been casual, but like went in a super duper casual direction to appeal directly to these fans, right? To sell consoles, to sell games. And there's a reason that Scarlet and Violet are some of the best-selling Pokemon games, because they appeal directly to those newer fans who overpopulate the people who have been there forever.
Yeah.
Right? And like I think that's like what I'm going to be coming back to a lot in this podcast, like where Pokemon I guess went wrong or changed was Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's fair. It didn't help that Pokemon Go started with only 151 Pokemon.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it started with Gen 1, and then as they added the generations later, it's gotten a lot more expansive, and obviously you're catching a lot more Pokemon, and they pop up more in the game as a Pokemon Go player. Like, it does not help it at all. Because, like, you could have introduced a new generation of Pokemon with Pokemon Go, and it made it so much more engaging for those newer people coming into the new franchise. So now that it's almost too late for Pokemon Go to help Pokemon, you know? Like, it's terrible to say, I hate it, but, like, it just is what it is, you know? Like, Pokemon Go was great in many ways. Pokemon Go also kind of brought it down, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys' thoughts?
I mean, I don't disagree with you whatsoever. It definitely brought an expansive role as to what Pokemon could be and what it could appeal to the casual fans rather than actual hardcore fans that have been following it for years. But on top of that, it also diminished the quality of the games over time in terms of just the main series.
I mean, look at Let's Go. You know,
my gosh, Let's Go series was
the Let's Go stuff is so upsetting. You know,
really
you could play with one Joy-Con. It came out with a controller that was just a button that looked like a Pokeball. Like it's terrible. Like
it's awful.
The
mechanics were so atrocious. It's not even funny.
Like it works for Pokemon Go, but if you're gonna put it on the Switch, that's not the greatest way to play it.
And they did it twice, right? They made another Let's Go game, or have they been?
They did Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee for sure.
And then that's it.
That's it.
So
okay.
far.
Well, thank God, because they did that to fucking Emerald or whatever.
There was rumors that they were going to do it with the Generation 2 Gold and Silver games, but fortunately, actually, they did not do that just yet.
They're like, let's go Totodile and let's go Chikorita.
There is talks of it happening, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I think they saw what happened.
Yeah, and the one thing that kind of irritates me is the fact that they kind of disrespect some of the older games that they've brought in, or that they built a lot of their success on, such as like they did justice for the remakes of Generations 1 through 3, but the remakes for Generation 4, horrible. Absolutely.
Yeah,
they didn't bring anything new.
They didn't change anything.
I mean, it's just bog standard, which is kind of the problem. But at the same time, like, I just didn't love the art style of those games.
No, yeah.
Really, like.
Yeah, the chibi style is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, like that's a weird one to do. You know, like it's a weird direction to go, and I like what Game Freak does. Sometimes I appreciate them trying new things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Fuck that. That's annoying and dumb. Right?
Don't be Ubisoft.
Don't be Ubisoft. Look at fucking Assassin's Creed, right? Like, that entire, like... Assassin's Creed's just falling off the cliff, obviously, right? Like, and you gotta look at, like, how Resynced, a Black White Resynced came out, and everybody's mad at it because it's got a million microtransactions, and it's terrible, right?
Well, they dumbed the game down, too, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's been...
What does that sound like, right?
For real, though.
Well, and it's like, hey, going to what you said about the Gen 4 remakes, coming from this game is awesome. Fuck IGN. There is a perfect amount of water in this game.
Good shit.
But like this game,
IGN.
you can literally fly on Latios or Latias depending on your version of this game, which is like such a cool addition, and also bringing in Mega Evolutions to this experience, right? Like. I never played Gen 3 before this came out, and this is a great representation.
That's a good way to get into Gen 3,
it is,
right?
It is. ORAS is great for that.
Right, like, those are good remakes because it brings modern features to an old game. But, like, stuff like Let's Go, which don't do anything, same thing with, you know, I forgot what the names are. It's like Heart
Gold, Soul Silver.
No, the Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Hearty Gold.
I'm talking about the Pearl and Diamond remake.
Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah, like those don't do anything because I don't need them to bring up Mega Evolutions to that game, but like they could do something that's a modern feature. No, you know, seriously. Like it'd be kind of cool to do some of those fucking raids and stuff. Yeah, you know that they added in Sword and Shield, or like you know, it's just it doesn't do a whole lot. And like it's like Pokemon is afraid to innovate, and like the games that do innovate, people don't like. Which also sucks too, because like, as much as people are gonna shit on them, Legends Arceus and Legends ZA are the biggest departure in the newest step for Pokemon. You know, it sucks to see that like those features aren't gonna be featured more. You know, because those are cool to me. Like it's neat to see that stuff innovated into Pokemon. It just they're not gonna do it because like people are like, oh, this is too different from Pokemon. Shut up. Do something different. Play a different game.
Right.
Well, it's a good thing. I know ZA had its issues, but like it is a good divergence. And like, like I there was the big leak from the Pokemon company. I talked with you about that.
Yeah.
And like the future seems interesting. The whole idea of making like a massive open world game that contains what was the first 4 regions?
Yeah.
That's a cool idea.
That's a very, very cool idea, right? And especially if they make it open-ended, especially if they make like, yeah, no, you can fight Brock, but then you can go all the way over to the Hoenn region and fight this gym leader, and then go all the way back to Johto and fight this gym leader, right? Like if they make it very open-ended like that, I know the leveling would be a mess, right? But like it could be interesting, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think leveling should matter in that instance.
I don't either.
You know, like
really
I
don't.
think that like
If anything, it brings more challenge to the game, and that's what Pokemon fans are looking for
Right.
sometimes.
more challenge, but also initiative to be fun. You know, like
Yes.
it is kind of fun to do a battle and just completely sweep a team, right? Like
Agreed.
you know, like it's just fun to like. Let's say you finish you do all of Johto's stuff first in this like, open world Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Hoenn, all of a sudden you're like sweeping every fucking gym. That's just fun.
Yeah.
Or like if you want to do new Pokemon in that region or whatever. I haven't seen any of the leaks or anything, so I don't know what's going on with it. But like,
It's supposed to be a huge MMO for Pokemon.
It's an MMO.
that's
they
cool.
thought.
See,
Yeah.
that sounds sick as fuck. Imagine doing a giant Pokemon raid with your boys. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that sounds awesome.
Like Destiny, but Pokemon.
Yeah, and like nice customization,
Mhm.
stuff for your trainer, a lot of maybe, you know, not to be super liberal here, but like, you know, nice gender you know, options, stuff like that, you know, like you don't
Mhm.
need to just inherently abide by the
Zach,
normal things, you
right.
know, like boy girl, you know.
Zach, I don't want to step on your toes with your questions, but this is an interesting question that I want to pose. A game came out this year that I think will change the perception of Pokemon. What will Pokopia do for Pokemon as a franchise moving forward? Because that game,
I need to see the sales for it.
that game is sold incredibly well, and it's one of the best rated games on the Switch too.
That's-
It honestly has an outside shot of a GOTY nomination, right?
Really, yeah.
I would say like it does. So like, because I want to say I don't know exactly what the game's sitting at on Metacritic, but I know it's over 85.
Right.
Right, like that game is going to change Pokemon forever,
Oh,
like it or not. And honestly, is that game kind of is that game kind of the answer to Power World from Game Freak? Because it kind of seems like
I disagree with it, with that take, just because Power World had kind of brought in the idea as to where you're able to actually bring it in with your friends. I mean, like, I don't know if Pokopia is able to do that or not. I haven't.
Not
played it.
really. I tried.
right.
Yeah.
have you
Yeah,
played
so-
Pokopia?
I have Pokopia.
What's it like?
It's fine.
It's basically
like
just Animal Crossing, isn't it?
yeah, it's just basically Animal Crossing but with Pokemon.
It has
It's
like
not-
Minecrafty elements.
Yeah, it's
right?
got some Minecrafty elements to it and stuff like that. But like, my partner, she plays it every once in a while. But like, you know, when we bought our Switch 2, we also bought fucking Tamagotchi Life. So like,
Yeah.
we've basically not touched Pokopia. So like for me, Pokopia doesn't do a whole lot. It's just borrowing a lot from other stuff that's cool. You know, it's got Minecrafting elements. That's cool. It's got Animal Crossing elements. That's cool. It'd be kind of sick to see like stuff like that innovate into Pokemon more like life sim stuff.
Mhm.
You know, like you don't have to just be a trainer to succeed in Pokemon, like a new Pokemon game. It would be kind of cool to be like a Pokemon Ranger or like that would be
Pokemon
cool to see in
Ranger,
this
Pokemon
MMO.
Ranger,
Pokemon Mystery
Pokemon
Dungeon.
Breeder.
You could be
I
like
mean, there's a lot of different options you could definitely take with that.
right.
but,
It would be kind of neat to.
It'd be interesting to see as to how they implement that into the MMO. I would love to see. The thing is that I feel as if the Pokemon developers usually have a very narrow-minded thought process when it comes to a new Pokemon game series.
Yeah, like these mainline games just don't. That's what the main problem is, that they're afraid
Well,
that the mainline
yeah.
stuff is not gonna.
here's the thing: is that what it's felt like ever since Sword and Shield came out, when they came out with this for any Switch Pokemon game, really, is that it seems like every single Pokemon game so far has been nothing but just trying to get players to get onto a fast track to competitive play, so that way they continue, which I don't oppose whatsoever. If anything, it expands the idea of playing with more people within Pokemon, but I think that it really destroys the quality of the game as a whole, just because you're over here trying to
Appease a
rush.
crowd.
Yeah, you're trying to rush the story, or you're trying to push people through a certain through a certain game aspect that not very many people, not the majority of people want.
Right.
Like it's only a select few that actually
that want
play
to
competitively. And don't get me wrong, I love playing competitive battles, like especially with my friends and stuff when I get the chance. But like it's not what I'm looking for as a main series.
Right.
I remember when I lived with you, you showed me. Which one did you show me? Was it Pokemon Sword or was it Pokemon Scarlet?
It might have been Scarlet.
I think you showed me all.
I think I showed you Violet. Yeah.
Whichever one had the thing.
Open world.
The open world, but had like that element of like you can go into these raids and get these Pokemon with different traits that are better, right?
Yes.
Like, which one was that?
So that was also it was either Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet.
They both have that?
Yeah, because Sword and Shield was the one that first introduced that with the Dynamax.
Okay.
And Dynamax is to where you were able to find specific traits or EVs or just different stats to the point to where it's competitively ready immediately, right? And that's the problem with Pokemon nowadays is that you're trying too much to focus on the competitive battling aspect of the main series games rather than actually making a good game in general.
Can I give you something that kind of leads into a subset of gaming that I come from? Because I'm a competitive shooter guy.
Yeah.
So I love Marvel Rivals, love stuff like that. But there's a game that came out way before it that set the hero shooter genre afloat.
Overwatch.
It's Overwatch.
Oh, yeah.
Overwatch did the same thing.
Yeah.
Where they focused too much on the competitive nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they focused on balancing, adding characters that were balanced at start, but in reality they were all broken, right? And took away from the fun aspect of that game. Nowadays, and I know you guys have probably played it, but Overwatch is in a really good spot where they are focusing on a lot more fun aspects of the game. And even Marvel Rivals is doing it now. This is right before Season 9 drops for Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is doing crazy shit with that game.
It's dropping today. It's fucking phenomenal. I can't wait to play it tonight.
With each hero having 2 extra abilities, basically. Yes, it looks sick. And Overwatch is starting to do that too, because they saw, and maybe Nintendo is just dumb and stupid, but they should just let Power World fly, right?
Here's the problem: is that Pokemon. I don't think they really care about what's going on with the main series Pokemon games, just because of how massive the IP is and how successful it has been so far. Because no matter what, if it has the Pokemon name on it, it's going to sell.
It's going to sell.
It's going to sell.
It doesn't matter these days. Like that's how loyal the Pokemon fans are to these games and just the IP in general.
It sucks to see Game Freak not love that IP though. That's what it feels like.
Oh, absolutely.
And
it's also very troubling to see as to how I don't want to really insult any of the Pokemon fans that are constantly buying these games these days, but like it seems mindless to just sit there and buy the next game, even though they when it came to ZA, I was hyped for it. I was ready to do something for it, but then when I found out that it was straight restricted to a single city, I was dumbfounded. I was completely...
Especially a region like X and Y.
And I was really looking forward to it because I love Megas. That's my favorite gimmick that they've done with Pokemon games. Mm-hmm. But then they completely destroyed it by just restricting the exploration aspect, which is one of my favorite game features about this. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Right.
And it not to mention the way of travel is so basic. They added these things as to where instead of you riding on a Pokemon like they did in Scarlet and Violet, you're taking elevators to get up and down buildings, which is absolutely absurd if you ask me.
Goofy as fuck.
Right.
I haven't played ZA yet, so I'm not super familiar, but you were going to say something real quick, Nick.
Yes.
We're shooting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up?
I made some cookies.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Alright, Evan's gonna have to make an edit.
Evan's gonna edit it anyways, don't worry.
Thank you.
I need to edit the last one. Thank you, Mrs. Kaufman.
Thank you, Mrs. Kaufman.
You're welcome.
Zach, sorry we got derailed.
Are they chocolate chip?
Oh yeah, they're chocolate chip.
Keep it in your pants, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean,
Don't fuck the cookie. So Zach, sorry we got derailed from your questions.
Oh no, it's cool. That's the whole point of a podcast. No,
That's a good point, yeah.
God damn.
But to go back to Pokemon, here. Yes.
I'm just prepared. Sorry.
Well, this cookie really good.
I didn't think this was gonna be.
We got really derailed off of this, considering we're only on the second or third question. I think
We're on the third, I think.
Yeah, but we've been talking for like like 20 minutes.
It's just about like how we are upset with Pokemon, right? Like, and that's kind of what this is all about, right? Obviously, just oh my god, the audio listeners, you can hear us ASMR talk about or eat cookies. But what's the most challenging? It kind of leads into this next question, right? Or this question here. What's the most challenging thing about Pokemon? What's the easiest? The most challenging thing about Pokemon is playing a fucking Pokemon game at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that, like, when it launches, it does not run perfectly. That's not a Nintendo thing. Like, Nintendo doesn't do that kind of shit, but clearly Game Freak does it all the fucking time. And it's pissing me off. It's like, Pokemon is a franchise that they love and care about, obviously.
But do
They love and care about Pokemon, you know? But, it clearly just makes the money still. They're just like, yeah, fucking throw it up there, who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, they don't, that's terrible. That's a terrible mentality, especially from a company that, not always, but typically likes to keep their games well polished at start. Right? Like, I'm not saying it happens all the time with Nintendo. I mean, look at fucking most of Metroid or, you know, like...
Metroid's getting a lot of love right now.
I don't know, Metroid Point 4 is really bad, apparently.
Metroid Dread was awesome.
Metroid Dread was fucking sick. That game's awesome. I stole a copy from my dad. My dad has 2 copies. I stole one copy. I was like, fuck yeah. But the game fucks. But the most challenging part and the easiest part is getting into Pokemon and playing Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same circle right there for me, you know? It's like buying Pokemon, but the hardest part is like playing Pokemon, you know? Like, it sucks. So I don't know about you guys or what your guys' viewpoints on like what's the most challenging, what's the easiest part of this, right? So
I'm gonna be so real. I think the challenging part is finding a way to care still.
that's fucking great. That's a great thing to say.
Like, it's funny. I'll be in Discord calls with Zach. I'm like, Zach, what are you doing? He goes, playing Pokemon, and I'm like, okay, like,
right.
Like, again, it's like, it feels like Pokemon games have just hit this, just continue to make the same thing, push people to competitive, kind of create this railroad almost of like taking casuals to competitive, right? It doesn't feel like the games stand on their own anymore, and I hate the art direction of modern Pokemon games.
Oh god, yeah.
It's
terrible.
It looks soulless and lifeless, and it lacks the soul and the heart that those games used to have, right? And just like the distinction and the vibe that those games used to have. I'm gonna be honest. The most challenging part about Pokemon is still trying to find a way to care.
Right. How about you, Zach? You tell me, like, what's the thing that kind of leads you there? You know, as the most hardcore Pokemon fan here, obviously, right? Like,
oh my gosh, dude. Honestly, when it comes to just the most challenging element to the games these days is just trying to find a way to be able to actually purchase another one. Like, it's not necessarily...
Skin yourself to the point where you're like, I'll buy this.
Yeah, and the reason as to why I bought Scarlet, the reason as to why I bought Violet was because it was the first open world Pokemon game. And that's something I've been waiting for forever, really. There was a good brief moment as to when I was, I stopped playing Pokemon for a good while there, for I think 3, maybe 4 years, just because I was completely uninterested in the games, right? As to where Black and White kind of took me for a drift as to where I didn't necessarily love those games at the time. I come to appreciate them very much so nowadays, but I absolutely, it kind of killed my drive to a certain point to where X and Y didn't really provide too much for me, which I do plan to play because I do kind of want to play Kalos and see as to what's going on there.
See, that's one of the ones.
I've never played X.
That's actually one of the ones I got a chance to play because my brother bought it for some reason. He just never played it.
Right.
He got X and Y for Christmas one year,
Okay.
and he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna play one of these." I go, "Well, whatever one you play, I'll play the other one." Right. So he played Y, I played X, and I think it's a solid game. I don't think it's anything new. I like the region actually a lot. I think the Lumos City, or I think Lumiose City, in the middle of everything is kind of a cool design idea. And I think the story wasn't terrible. Like, it's just like...
Coming from Gen... Like, I remember playing Pokemon X back in the day. Coming from Gen 5, the game is such a departure, right? Like, you go from Team Plasma, who has these deep thoughts about, like, that we enslave Pokemon and, like, we we don't treat them as equals. We don't treat them as brothers, right? Kind of branching off of the idea, going to Team Flare, which is we're the fashion team, and it's like there's a serious element, and it's Pokemon, right?
Mhm.
But there's like an element of seriousness that is kind of lost.
Oh,
And also, I didn't love the art direction of those games, and they are but easy. Again, Pokemon games are easy.
XP share kind of killed Pokemon too.
XP
Oh,
share.
absolutely.
You get 2 starters in X and Y because you get a Gen 1 starter and a Gen 6 starter, right? Like
Right.
those games are but easy. I think I beat that game in like 8 hours, right? Like it was so easy and like.
And it's so easy to collect all the stuff in that game because Wonder Share became so widely available.
Yeah.
You know, like you barely need an internet connection to do Wonder Share, and
Right.
you get to do it anytime you're like on or off, right?
Mhm.
So like collecting Pokemon became super easy.
Yeah.
Getting the full getting Pokemon with great stats wasn't hard either because you could sit around in a bush for an hour and get all the fucking Pokemon you want. Like X and Y I like because it's easy and fun, but like it's not doing anything different,
No.
you know? So like to
I
move
mean,
on
the biggest difference in those games was definitely the Megas.
Mhm.
That's the reason as to why I play. I ended up playing Omega Ruby and Apple Sapphire for the Megas. And I
Mhm.
thought it was the coolest gimmick ever. It still is, in my opinion. However, it's also because I wanted that nostalgic feeling with the Gen 3 games, because that was the next generation I played after 4.
Right.
But Gen 4, after that, I saw Sun and Moon, and I saw the whole different. I saw the outlook of just the story and like what you could do there. It disappointed me completely, and so it drove me away from Pokemon for a good while until Sword and Shield came out, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it because I have a Switch. I might as well buy Pokemon because I love it.
Right.
And I ended up enjoying those games. It's not the best game ever, and it's not one of my top 5 Pokemon games, but
Right.
I would think it's definitely still pretty solid as a game. Like the wild area that they introduced, fantastic. I loved that idea, and it was really, really cool.
There's a lot of good stuff from this modern era,
Yes.
but they need to like kind of bring things together and figure out a way to kind of get it together.
Mhm.
That kind of leads into your next question, Nero. What is your favorite feature about Pokemon? Obviously, you like Megas. Nick.
My favorite feature about Pokemon games? I don't know. I mean, like, it's you know exactly what you're gonna. That was the beautiful thing about Pokemon for such a long time, between like 1996 and 2011 with these, is that you knew exactly what you were gonna get. You were gonna get your fun little story of your of getting your 6 Pokemon team, and going through your 8 gym leaders and your final form, your champion, and a fun little story. And I guess like that's what I liked, is that you knew what you were gonna get, right? From Gen 1 through 5, you knew exactly what you were gonna get, and it was fun, and people loved it.
Yep.
Right? Like, I don't know if that's a feature, but
I don't know. I wouldn't even say that Megas were my favorite feature. My favorite feature was definitely the adventure aspect. That's
Right.
where you're able to explore these different regions, and that's
Mm-hmm.
also coming from a spoiled ass brat, coming from Gen 4, as to where it's probably one of the best adventures.
It's the most
It's the most
explorable.
It's so diverse in terms of landscape, because I mean, you go up to the north and you see Snow Point City with just a land covered in snow.
Right.
Incredible.
And getting up there is tough. You know,
Yes.
like tough as a Pokemon game yet, right? But like,
it is. I remember doing that in that one.
yeah, it's a hard quest to get up there. It's annoying. You gotta
Oh,
deal with all the
absolutely.
fucking shit. There's always a million fucking Pokemon.
Yes.
You can't get up there without repels
Want one
or
more?
whatever. Yeah, I'll take one more. Oh, you're giving me the plate, dickhead?
No, I'm giving the plate to Zach.
Oh, okay, yeah. But like, it just, that's what I like about Pokemon, is when they lend themselves to interesting game mechanics that do different things with Pokemon, the environment,
Mhm.
different things that like inform the story.
Right.
Like this. To me, Pokemon's kind of like Gotham.
What? What?
I'm gonna explain. So, when you read a Batman book, and this is going to be kind of set around the time when I was talking about my comic book video that just came out. I'm wearing the same shirt. Yes, it's the same day. Don't fucking at me. But these are cool because stories set in the region are part of the character of those games.
Mhm.
Sinnoh is such a character in itself
Mhm.
in that game, and it makes you connect with it more.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with Gotham. If you have a boring Gotham, your Batman story is not going to be as fucking good, is it?
You know.
Exactly. So, like, you can't just have Chicago. You gotta have a place that's grimy and gross and like covered in shit. That makes it more interesting, you know? Like it makes it more believable and lived in. And that's what Sinnoh does incredibly well, actually. And I love the game. And the same thing with I want everybody to hear that.
I'm gonna indulge your tangent just a little bit.
Yes,
more.
please do. Go ahead.
I think the reason that the current like Batman universe we're exploring, like the cinematic universe, works so well in like the Robert Pattinson Batman movies, kind of
Right.
extending into the Penguin, is because Gotham is such a part of that story,
Yes.
right? They make Gotham feel so omnipresent, right? Like especially in the Penguin, right? Like you get to see the Penguin as he grows up in the hood, right? In the hood of Gotham, right? How it affects him interacting with his community, right? So the best part of that movie is like the big flood that they have too, and how that affects everything. And like again, Gotham is so cool in all of that. And as you said, it's just as much of a character.
It's just as much of a character, and that's what makes a good Pokemon story. Because, like, what's the point of going to a new region in a Pokemon game if the character of the region is not present?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's my favorite feature of Pokemon games. When a good Pokemon game is good, the region's just as important
Absolutely.
as the... Because the region informs how the Pokemon evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, like, these other versions kind of make interesting. You know, like Hishuin or Alolan. I bet you in the new game, a Galarian, they're all going to have different versions of the Pokemon, or older Pokemon, right? And that's going to be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's the parts that I like the most, is when the region tells a story just as much as the game tells a story, right? It's a tale told in a place that is so lived in.
Yeah.
And
You know?
like I think a good example of that is you brought up Frostpoint City. It's really shitty. Snowpoint. Sorry.
Fake fan.
Yes, I am a fake fan.
He really is a fake fan.
I am a fake fan. But I think like you were talking about how like the region influences Pokemon, how it evolves. It's a really shitty mod, but it's a really cool design.
Yeah.
Obama Snow, which is from there,
Mm-hmm.
kind of pulls into the whole idea of like, well, like foresty snow, right? It's like the foresty snow,
Right,
Pokemon
like,
has like an ice grass
imagine,
type, like all that.
Imagine, like, Pokemon kind of came from the same point like humans do, right? You know, how humans evolve from fish to fucking, you know,
Idiots.
monkeys to people without a brain cell, right? Until two incels, right?
Well, there are three of us today.
Three white men on a couch talking about Pokemon? At least we're not straight. That's what we're But, like, here's the thesis. You know, like, the region, like, the parts of the region that have Pokemon that do certain things, like, they evolve in that area to inform the story of that area.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you said Snowpoint, is that what's called?
Snowpoint.
Snowpoint in Diamond and Pearl is a cool area, particularly because it has Pokemon not only exclusive to that area that tell the story of that area, like how it kind of grew and became where it is and all that. It's interesting. That's cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want in my Pokemon game. I don't give a fuck about the current team because honestly, that's not why I'm playing the game.
Right.
Honestly, if you want something removed from a Pokemon game, get rid of the team. Get rid of the opposing team. I don't give a fuck. Give me an interesting story.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Give me an interesting story about your character.
No,
you know, like,
that's
honestly, you know what they should do is take a page out of Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild, where they have a character who has got a defined name, and you're following that character. Like Link is Link in that game. He's not whoever you named him. He's Link. Follow Link in his story. Follow Ash in his story. That would make it way more interesting. Follow Red, whatever you want to.
That's fair. No, I mean, that's what it was originally based on too, right? It's
Right.
Like, you're following Red's story. You can choose whichever name you want to call yourself in those games, but it's based off of a original story that they created and
Right.
were inspired from in the beginning, right?
And
And
yeah,
it's
there's
kind of the
there's
same thing with I think it lost itself around X and Y as to where, as Nick mentioned earlier, as to where like it's the team flair as to where they're over here a fashionable team. It's like no one gives a fuck. We actually care about as to what the people this opposite team is actually doing and what their goal is. Like with Team
Right.
Galactic, Team Rocket actually had an actual goal. Same thing goes for
Team Plasma.
Plasma was great.
Plasma, Team Magma.
They were phenomenal.
They're a great team. I like having opposing teams. That's fun.
I think out of all the opposing teams that you had to fight, I think theirs was the most awesome just because it was following prehistoric Pokemon. And this is coming from a guy that actually dealt with Team Galactica, so where they were dealing with the gods of time and space. For
right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I loved and respect Team Plasma and the story that it evolves around. But I think that, in my opinion, I really do think that Edge is the one that carried them in the story.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Now, when it comes to the geographical sense of Pokemon these days, don't get me wrong, they're really cool when it comes to providing, like, okay, so the wild area for Sword and Shield was actually really interesting.
That's a cool thing,
really
but like,
cool. And it changed different, it actually changed the weather based off of the dates that you had in real life, and that was really cool.
But, you know, like, look at the rest of the region, though, you know, like...
It was so stale.
Exactly, you know, I want a lot of variation. I want, like, a beautiful dock area with a vibrant city. I want the next Pokemon game to have, like, a town that is all tree houses, you know, the weird shit. Just, like, throw a dart at a dartboard and give it a new place, you know?
Yes, and it can't just be solely based off of the geography of the region either.
Right.
Because that's exactly what they did for Scarlet and Violet. This map was phenomenal. It really was. The problem was the story itself. The story felt so kiddish to the point where it felt as if I'm not necessarily playing this to actually... Don't get me wrong, this is a game that's actually meant for kids. But at the same time, you also need to provide a compelling story arc that actually intrigues the older fans. Because nowadays, don't get me wrong, you're still having kids play Pokemon, but you're not that's not your sole source of income completely.
Especially nowadays. You know, like, it's a 30-year franchise,
exactly.
you know?
There's a lot of older fans that appreciate the old games for a reason.
I'm gonna give this to Nick here. He's got a lot. He's been like,
Well, what I was gonna say is, you haven't played Horizon Forbidden West yet. There is a treehouse city in Horizon Forbidden West.
I'm the fucking best. Put me in, coach. I know how to make a goddamn region.
No, there's a whole city in Horizon Forbidden West where it's basically like the whole city is stilted on trees and like you go up and down bridges and it has like multiple levels. It's
I don't know where the
Fortress
setting
City
of
is
that game
fantastic,
is.
and
It's
it'll
basically
never
over
be
by
enough.
like in California, right?
Horizon Forbidden West. It's kind of like on the way to that because
because you do hit like the Golden Gate and stuff, right?
That's so cool. When you get to San Francisco, I'm on a tangent. But when you get to San Francisco and Horizon Forbidden West, that is so cool. But anyway, I kind of wanted to go to question 7. Can we skip this question 7? Can we skip?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So, you fine with that?
Yeah, I think
we're at question 7. That's
okay.
where we're at.
So for me, that's a difficult question to answer because as we said earlier, I think this was
the last good Pokemon game is the question.
This to me was like the last great generation where Pokemon Black, White, White 2, Black 2 were all fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Like this was the last one where every single game of this generation was amazing, right? I would say like the last good game could be maybe Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but I think those games are better than good.
I think that the last good one is X and Y for me. Because X and Y, like, it doesn't do anything different, but it's still good. It's a video we were thinking about doing, and maybe we might bring it up later. A 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what X and Y is for me. You know, like X and Y, it's not offensive, but it's good. You know, you're
it has problems.
It has
I think, like, as we said, Team Flare was the biggest problem coming off of, like, Team Galactic and Team Plasma teams that... It's Pokemon, right? It's an E10 rated game. It's actually an E rated game, right? But even for that, these teams have a little bit of edge to them. That gives them...
There's a lot more motivation, you know? Like, especially with the areas that they are in. Like, Team Aqua and Team Magma... Hoenn felt like such a, like, down there... It felt like the Earth Kingdom in Avatar: The Last Airbender for me. You know, like, it just feels very grounded, very earthy, very, like, connected to those legendaries.
Yeah.
Same thing with Team Plasma, with Black and White, right? Like, those teams just felt very interconnected with the region that they are in.
Yeah.
While Team Flare, there's not a whole lot going on with that. And honestly, I can't even remember if there's any teams in these newer Switch ones. Because they just don't do anything, right? Like, they're not standing out amongst the other antagonists of those games, right? Yeah. And honestly, like I said, I don't think Pokemon needs antagonists. At this point, they don't. Like, it's just not something that does anything for me.
No, it's not. I mean, if anything, it's a lot of the fans that we previously mentioned, is where like the older fans and everything are more grasping onto the idea of the nostalgic feeling, right? And they're trying to bring back that feeling that they had when they first played those games.
Right.
And
So is everybody.
I mean, everybody is
yeah,
every
like-
single game, but at the same time, if you're not going to market to those fans, or if you're not going to try and recreate any of those game features, or really just the game in general, that brings back that for those fans, it's kind of just lost amongst the community.
Because I brought this up earlier. I think in a lot of ways, those fans don't matter anymore.
No,
right?
it doesn't. It doesn't. Because they don't care.
They don't care. They have this
more
massive,
marketing towards another generation.
They have this massive casual audience that'll buy anything they put out, and like. I also do wonder, like, if even Game Freak is just getting sick of doing the same shit over and over again, because we have Beast of Reincarnation coming out on August 4th.
Yeah.
I think everyone...
That game looks sick.
I think everyone forgot about that game, just in the slew, because they didn't show anything at, like, TGAs or at, like, the summer stuff, but that game's coming out in less than a month at this point.
Okay.
And have you heard about that?
No, I have.
And like that's an interesting idea of almost like a Monster Hunter type approach, kind of soulsy, right? Of like adapting like a Pokemon like image to a completely different experience. I wonder if Game Freak's head is even still in the game with making new Pokemon games.
No,
Because in a lot of
honestly,
ways it feels really repetitive, it feels really drawn out, and I kind of like the idea that we're going in a different direction with the open world games, that there seems to be some sort of innovation happening, but like, yeah, I do wonder if Game Freak's head is still in the game making these. They've been making these games for 30 years.
That sounds crazy. I'd like to see another company take a crack at Pokemon. Like a mainline game.
You know, honestly, that's not a bad idea, but at the same...
imagine doing a anime, but like, let's say fucking Studio Trigger did a Pokemon anime.
That would be awesome.
That would be sick as shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, or Mappa does a Pokemon, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
these big anime studios take a crack at Pokemon. That'd be cool, but like, let's see some fucking developers do something different, you know, like, let's see, like, what the IP can do.
The artist, I mean, like, as Nick previously mentioned, the art style of Pokemon has dropped in quality tremendously. It's terrible these days. It's absolutely, it's so soulless, as he said. It just doesn't provide anything new, or it doesn't. I mean, we've seen the Pokemon anime as to how the animation can be really fantastic when it comes to a lot of these moves and everything. Which, don't get me wrong, the moves that they have done with some of these games recently, they're not bad in the 3D quality, but it's also based off the Pokemon themselves, and the 3D sprites are just, to put it in a sense. I don't get it. I don't really understand it, but you know, it's also because like we keep bringing back up, they just don't care.
We're trying not to beat around the same bush.
We're not. But at the same time, it keeps going back to the same point as to where they just they lost faith in it, maybe, or something.
Which kind of leads us from our 7th question to our 8th question, which is, what's the biggest change that they made in the mainline series? I think it's just the changes is that Game Freak doesn't care. You know, like honestly, like the passion isn't there, and that's why I'm like, well, maybe we should give this to a team that actually gives a shit. You know, like we were talking about it during the State of Play podcast, right? You weren't there for it, but me and Nick were here, and we were talking about it, like giving IPs to studios that give a shit about that IP,
or just that fit that IP.
Yeah, that fit that IP.
Like the whole, and it's a really good trend that's happening in gaming. Like giving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Platinum Games is a match made in heaven. Like I hear Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Platinum Games, and I'm like, I'm buying that, right? Like I don't need any other. And that's the thing. Like we just saw IO Interactive make a James Bond game. And it's awesome, right? And the minute I heard the Hitman developers and James Bond, I'm like, I'm buying it, right? Like, and I do wonder if, like, what if you give Capcom the Pokemon IP and, like, Monster Hunter the Pokemon, right? Kind of give it a more, like, challenging and less casual approach, right? Or, like,
don't get me wrong, you don't need to, you know, intensify it for the casual fan or for the children that we are gearing it towards, right? It could still be an E-rated game, but like imagine a Monster Hunter battle, but you're playing against a Pokemon and trying to defend your trainer. You know what I mean? Like that sounds awesome.
That almost sounds like a JoJo stand.
It sounds like a JoJo stand, but that would be fucking sick, wouldn't it? Imagine playing as a JoJo stand trying to protect your stand.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But imagine that with Pokemon. You know, there's 1,000 Pokemon out there now, which A is way too many.
Agreed.
B, like, it would be so fucking neat to do something that interesting. You know, I would play that game because I think it would be fun. Imagine a looter shooter with Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, isn't that what Pal World is almost trying to do? It's not a looter shooter, but like
Pal World feels more, from what I see, it feels more like a farming sim almost, like a Minecraft survival thing.
It's I would completely agree with that, just because it's more as to where it's more about the grind rather it is actually about exploring or trying to play the game or anything like that. So it's not a bad game. Like at the start, it's something about the grind, but like as you get into the game, it becomes more exploring. You get into more exploring.
Right.
You get to actually see is all the different pals and everything. But I
You know
haven't.
what, it kind of reminds me of Ark. Did you play Ark Survival?
I know about it though.
What
You know,
I hate Ark.
I fucking hate Ark too. I hate to be that guy, but like there was a thing that happened
It's a
forever
good
ago.
comparison though. It really is.
Yeah, it's like
What happened with you and Ark? Like like you can't just go past and you're like just have a friend.
okay, let me talk about Ark real quick. Just the kind of clarify things. Forever ago, they did a Q&A on Reddit. They were like, "Oh, what are some things we changed about the game?" And active fans were giving like feedback to the Ark devs.
Yeah.
And they were shitting all over these people.
Because Ark sucks.
Because Ark sucks, and it doesn't work very well, and it's not a great game.
Right.
So like these fans of the game were like saying actual like criticisms and stuff like that, and they just
And
shit
they
all.
can't take. Yeah.
They couldn't
can't
take the heat, right? Like even on a Q&A, right?
Right.
It's terrible. But to kind of move on to the next question, what game started the decline in quality in the mainline series, and why?
Well,
You know, we kind of
real
answered a
quick-
little bit
real
of
quick
this.
Before I forget, I want to go back on what you said about
Yeah,
how
go
there's
ahead.
way too many Pokemon. I completely agree with you. So there's just 1,000 Pokemon is ridiculous. There's no reason as to why you should have.
Don't get me
1,000
wrong,
Pokemon.
there are
There's
thousands and millions of species on our planet.
No,
but,
absolutely. But like the whole point of the not even just the game series, but the whole anime of the show, gotta catch them all. Like where
Right.
it was that's not even possible anymore because of how many. I mean, it is
there are
possible,
completionists that can do
but,
it,
like,
you know, but
yeah,
like
absolutely.
that's thousands of hours of time that people don't have. Like,
Exactly. So
and,
there's
like,
no
look at,
reason
like,
as to why you do it anymore.
and look at the influx of gaming right now. You know, like if you look at it as like a whole, you can't just sit there and keep playing the same old game over and over again,
Exactly.
unless you have a simple brain. Like me, I'm a simple brain.
Oh, I'm a simple brain too.
I'm a simple
playing
brain.
fucking
I'm
over
playing
and
Black Ops 2 again on PS5.
over.
I'm
I'm playing
stupid.
Black.
You bought that?
I bought it with money.
I played Soul Silver 5 times in the span of 2 months. I mean, it's
Like
what are you gonna do?
there are people who like that. Like
Yeah.
they are willing to play the same experience over and over again.
Yes,
But,
there's
like-
also a certain level of like. Don't get me wrong. That's very simplistic when it comes to that mindset. But there's also the idea of just going back and playing the same or trying to catch all these Pokemon, and that's a different level of simplicity in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I personally believe what they should do is that they should more focus on the Pokemon they currently have rather than keep making new Pokemon, because it
Right.
really doesn't do anything for the series other than just.
I mean, the designs are clearly
Very
uninspired. You know, like
yes.
it would be cool to see more variants. You know, I'm
Agreed.
okay with that because it takes something you're familiar with and makes it new, right? Like
Yes.
I like Galarian Meowth. I like
Yes.
Galarian Farfetch'd. I like Alolan Vulpix. Obviously, everybody likes Alolan Vulpix.
There's
It's awesome, right? Alolan Ninetales looks fantastic. It's a great design. It's
Right.
a complete subversion to the original character,
Absolutely.
original idea,
Yeah.
the original Pokemon.
But
So,
there's also, I mean, like, there's a reason as to why people like Sinnoh so much is because they brought back a whole bunch of the Pokemon that they previously had, but it's also an expansion from those Pokemon, such as I mentioned a couple of them before, but like Porygon Z, that's a new evolution from the
Porygon Z, or I really like
line.
the evolution of oh god, what's his name?
Are you talking about Electabuzz?
Electabuzz, Electivire.
Yeah, Electivire,
what's the
Magmortar.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, Magmortar. You also have Tangrowth. who,
Yes.
It finally gets an evolution from Tangela. I mean,
Yeah,
it
like-
took 3 generations for that to happen, but still.
And those are new Pokemon, but
Yeah.
they're familiar. You know?
Exactly.
Your Pokemon bag is deep.
It's bad.
like the size of
Bro, I've been able to name the 151, not in order, but like all the 151 original Pokemon.
And
We're not doing that on the pod.
That would be
we
really
could do it here,
You know
but
what?
like, we're
You
not
know what?
going to.
Viewers, if you want to. We'll get Zach to do the. You know what? We'll get him to do the Poke Rap. Get us to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year.
I haven't heard that in forever.
Get us to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. He'll do the Poke Rap on the channel. Fuck you.
I will do it. If
Yeah!
1,000 subscribers for sure.
1,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
That's the goal. But no, so I mean, we kind of we'll go into the next question because we kind of veered off. So, which game started the decline in quality for the main series?
Let's all say it at once. Pokemon Sun.
And Pokemon.
Yes.
Like, I'm not an original design. I don't love those legendaries. I have them all in Pokemon Go. They're all like bland and
now,
weird.
to be fair, the starters weren't too bad because that's the one that originated from. That's where Incineroar came from.
Yeah, Incineroar, right?
That's actually not a bad Pokemon if you ask me.
There's still glimpses, you know, like there's still things that Pokemon does that's really original and fun.
Agreed.
Like Incineroar is a great final evolution.
Absolutely.
But like, fuck off with all these fighting fighter types. Like,
oh my gosh, dude.
Give us
I just opened this for the first time in years.
We're almost to the
There's an ad in it.
We're almost.
I love that. I sold that at Toys R Us.
That's fucking awesome.
There's an ad.
I sold a bunch of those at Toys R Us.
That's really funny.
We're almost to the 10th generation of Pokemon. We haven't had a single electric and fire type.
That's nuts.
Like that's actually insane. That would go hard for the design.
I would love the final evolution of this Pomeranian Pokemon to be some kind of like cracked out looking like crazy electric type. You know, like I want him to have fire, flamethrower and thunderbolt. You know, like fuck yeah, like let's do it.
And if there's any Pokemon hardcore fans in the comments, please go ahead and correct me. But I'm damn sure that there's not a single fire and electric type. I've looked this up and I'm like,
at least for the starters.
No, not even. No, I mean starters. They do the same fucking thing over and over.
Yeah, it's like firefighting.
They did firefighting for 3 generations.
Ground herb.
That's right.
Ground grass.
Ground and grass is fucking awesome.
They're a great type, but like you know,
is it Torterra ground grass?
Yes.
No, but this game in particular, because this was the start of the downfall, and I said it earlier, where like this was the first Pokemon game that came out after Pokemon Go. This game is just so hand-holdy. And I usually like hand-holding in games because I'm an idiot and I suck at games. But like...
not to allude to a future project that Nick's working on.
This is
you're going to probably watch him die 50 times.
This is the dude that played Jedi Fallen Order on fucking easy mode.
I did not play Jedi Fallen Order on easy. Shut up.
I'm just saying.
No, but this game, literally, the reason I love this game is the intro to this game takes 15 minutes. You get in, you go through some dialogue, you get your starter, you are off to the races, right? The intro to this game takes 3 hours of hand-holding and crap you've heard a million times.
That's why I never played it.
This? You never played this?
I've never played it for a reason.
It's so hand-holding. Everything about this experience is like just guiding you. Like you are an infant who has never seen the world before.
It's funny.
And it's like, and I feel like it's forced in because they're like, well, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go, right? They're assuming so many people are going to buy this because they play Pokemon Go and bought a 3DS to buy this. So you have to explain to them at the smallest level what a Pokemon game is. And also, too, it got rid of gyms, right? So instead of your 8 gyms, you have these 4, like, master trainers. Of the
4 or 5.
There's 4, and you have a champion for the 5th one. And it's like...
What the fuck is that?
And, like... And it's, again, this game is so simplistic. You just have 4 islands where you go fight your master trainer on the 4 islands. And it's so stupid, and you know they screwed up because they went back to gyms in the next generation.
Yeah.
So, like...
Right.
So, like, yeah, no. This was the start of the downfall. This was the start of the direction of just, like, everything is about Pokemon Go. Everything is about appealing to the Pokemon Go players, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, yeah, I hate this game. This is the copy I got on launch.
You know, honestly,
10 years ago, and when people ask me, what is the most disappointing game that you ever made, this is up there for me. This is up there with, like, The Last of Us 2 for me.
Kind of makes me think
it is.
Wow.
Yeah,
damn. With The Last of Us 2.
If you guys, have you already gotten that rant?
Last of Us 2?
We have not done that yet.
We have not talked about Last of Us 2.
That's for a future video. But
that's 100% a great discussion.
no,
Honestly,
so
game's
well,
so
I
small.
gotta, I
I haven't
gotta,
played it yet, so.
I gotta go off of this actually as to how thinking about that because they went to try and appeal to Pokemon Go fans with Sun and Moon. It didn't really work for them as they saw.
Right.
So what I think that they tried to do with the Switch games soon after is that they try to appeal more to the hardcore Pokemon fans. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a hardcore fan, but there's even more hardcore fans out there, so where they're
Oh,
just
for sure.
constantly playing competitive play, and that's the reason as to why Pokemon. That's why might be the reason as to why Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, those games are so one-directional towards the competitive scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then they try to cater all the fans or the players into the direction of a competitive scene.
Right.
Or just like try and not necessarily handhold them, but like it's like a
It's a railroad.
fast pass. You know,
Right,
like
right.
what you get at Six Flags or something, right? It's where you're just straight towards the front of the line, right? It's
Right.
just, it doesn't make any sense as to why you would do that because you had so many really good. You had a great fan base with X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Don't get me wrong, X and Y wasn't that incredibly popular, but it did.
It's a 7 out of 10, like I said.
Yeah,
Like,
it still held some of the original fans that they had with the previous generation.
Right.
So I don't understand as to why you would tear away from that and go into the more hardcore fans.
like I said, it's kind of like Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch did this thing where they focused so hardcore on the pro play. You know,
Yes.
like there was Overwatch League, and Overwatch League is huge in the esports community, obviously. But like Overwatch esports wasn't the biggest group of people playing the game.
Didn't it fold?
I mean, it did, but
It
they still
did,
do.
but there's still a good fan base that's trying.
They're doing
to keep it
there's a
alive.
good fan base, but like Overwatch and Activision Blizzard, I will never really do this a whole lot and say that Activision Blizzard do good things, fans. They did a good thing by letting Blizzard make characters and do things that make the game more fun. You know, they added Stadium, they added more heroes, and these heroes are all different and fun and weird, like Jetpack Cat. Jetpack Cat is a great addition to the Overwatch lore. To go back into Pokemon, they need to do the same thing. Honestly. They need to stop focusing on the dumb bullshit and focusing on these like hardcore fans and start focusing on stuff that like really matters.
That,
You
that
know?
kind of goes into our next question.
Yeah.
Why do you believe Pokemon decided? I mean, it's Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just based off Pokemon.
I think
Go,
it's the
per se.
fact that Pokemon Go existed, yes.
Well,
But
it's
at
not-
the same time, I think
I think
it
it's
leads
more
into
about, like,
a discussion about what we were talking about earlier, which is I think Game Freak just stopped caring about it. That's my
They
opinion.
did.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's not only just Game Freak, but I think also the Pokemon Company as a whole, because they realize as to how much money that they're revenating from the different products that they're selling, other than just the video games in general. Like not just Pokemon Go or the main.
You also have to
game
think
series.
about
It's
TCGs
also,
blowing
like,
up
yes,
and stuff too, you know.
TCG's been blowing up because of the amount of scalpers and just
Mhm.
amount of people that are over here.
And it's a fun hobby to have. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
TCG is honestly super fun. Ripping packs, collecting cards is great. I have a bunch of cards in my card now. You know, like, God, this podcast is gonna be gassy as fuck.
Thank you, cookies.
Thank you, Cookies. Thank you for Rockstar. Rockstar, you should sponsor us so I can get free Rockstars. Anyways, but it's just like it leads into this conversation about oh god, I forgot what I was talking about. Fuck. But you know they need to be
TCG.
more fun and like TCG. Yeah, no, TCG is a great hobby and that's fun. I think people are going more towards less competitive stuff and more into
Yes.
these like I want to play something that's fun. I don't give a shit about the competitive scene. I don't care. You know, I want to play something that means something, and I
Right.
want to have fun with it. You know, and introduce people to that
Absolutely.
want to have fun with it. Yeah. So that's where my head's at.
Well,
you know.
and like, I mean, for me, it's just to answer that question. To me, it is just Pokemon Go, and I think it is just Game Freak is just done. I'm kind of with you. I want to see. Was Pokopia made by Game Freak? Was that like?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so.
It's one of those things. It's not a mainline game though. You know,
It isn't, but I almost want to see like, and again, I know how people feel about cozy games. I know how you guys kind of feel about cozy games, but I do kind of want to with Pokopia blowing up and with that game being as well regarded critically as it is. I do wonder the effect that that's going to have on the mainline franchise. I also wonder with Game Freak developing other games outside of the Pokemon universe with Beast of Reincarnation. I wonder what that holds. I think Pokemon under the influence of a different developer would be a great idea.
I
Right?
agree.
Like, I wonder if the Pocopia dev is going to make a mainline game and what that would be like.
Right.
Right? If it's like has more of a cozy direction and like, again, I don't know. Right? I think opening it up though for other developers is a good idea.
Like, at this point, Pokemon is not just Pokemon anymore. It's an IP. It is one of the biggest IPs on the planet. If not the biggest IP on the planet, right? We were just talking about it. It could be given to other developers and other studios to do something interesting with it. And I'm not just saying mainline games. Honestly, you could do whatever you want. It's a fucking open sandbox. You know, like...
That just made me think of Star Wars Battlefront 3, but go on.
Hey, God damn it!
Star Wars and have it again!
I knew it would happen.
It was gonna happen. We were referencing other things. Star Wars was gonna come up.
Yeah,
it
but
was
like,
gonna happen.
okay,
God damn it, Zach. I didn't think it was gonna be you. I didn't think it was gonna be you.
Of course it was gonna be me. What do you think?
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I definitely have to keep that first bit in the podcast when I edit it. But, you know, like, imagine, like, now
that should be the opening, honestly. You just start with that and then just go into the podcast.
For real. But, you know, it would be interesting to see Pokemon take some directions that, like, Star Wars games have taken, you know. It would be actually kind of interesting being, like, you know, Pokemon, not, like, first-person shooter, but, like, a Pokemon, like, kind of hero shooter would be kind of fun.
I'm just picturing that. That would be hilarious. A first-person shooter for Pokemon.
I'm just
you see Pikachu with just an MK4.
Pokemon with his Glock. You know?
Fill the bag. Fill the bag. I'm just imagining.
Payday, but
I'm just imagining Pikachu and Payday. That's all I'm seeing. Pikachu in a balaclava saying, "Fill the bag."
Put the money in the bag.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
I'm just imagining Pikachu down being and striking Pikachu! Just down B lightning striking the fuck out of it.
Jesus fucking Christ, we're unhinged. But, like,
I think that's an understatement.
Fuck. Alright, I'm just moving on to the next one. Fuck you guys. What would you like to see more from the Pokemon IP? I think we've all said this. We want Pokemon with Glocks.
Pokemon with Glocks.
Oh, sorry, that's Pal World.
You know what? We'll go into the 11 after 12.
Did we do 11? I can't remember.
Do 11.
No, we didn't. Do you want to do 12 first?
Yeah, we'll do 12 first. So,
yeah, that's fine.
They're the same. They're the same question. I feel like.
I mean,
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But
Anyways,
we'll go into it.
What is a feature that you think they brought back to the main series? Or what would you like to see the Pokemon IP do more? I want the Pokemon IP to do more things that aren't the mainline games.
Which they are doing.
Which they are doing, which is nice.
Okay.
I like Pokopia. I think Pokopia is cool. I haven't played a lot of it, but I think it's cool. I like when they did Pokemon Tournament, the fighting game.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting...
Pokemon Tournament?
I think it's fun.
Okay.
I like it when they do weird shit. It's an IP with lots of different stuff. Imagine a Pokemon Dreamlight Valley. You know, like a cozy game, but with Pokemon. And you run into different Pokemon.
Copia.
Which is just Pokemon, yes. But strictly as a player. You're a character, you know, like... It's not meant with an end game or a story or whatever, right?
Right.
It's just a cozy game where you play every day and you check on your Pokemon to make sure that they're alright, right? Like, or, you know, strictly narrative-driven Pokemon game with, you know, a lead character that has some deep struggles and stuff like that. Like, like something different. I don't want mainline games anymore. We don't care.
They're not doing anything different.
They're not doing anything different. And
not.
there's a place for those mainline games to exist, but give those mainline games to somebody who knows and cares about Pokemon. You know? It's a franchise that's been going on for 30 years. Give it to somebody else. You know? Game Freak is tired. I can tell.
They're making a different game.
They're making a different game.
They want to
looks great.
escape it. They're just done, right? They're just exhausted with Pokemon.
But like, imagine being able to fund their perfect project off the revenue of Pokemon. You know, like, so like, I understand them keep doing it, but like, they don't give a fuck anymore.
No, they really don't.
I would say for me, with the rise of games like Octopath Traveler and the Final Fantasy remakes and this beautiful HD 2D 3D style that Square Enix has made, I would love a Pokemon game in that style.
That would be fucking sick.
In
That
like
would be dope.
in
That
like
would
the
be.
style of like Octopath Traveler, right?
Octopath.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or like Triangle Strategy, right? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Have you seen these games?
Vaguely.
I'll show it to you later. They're gorgeous, right? I want to see Pokemon return to sprite-based, at least to some degree. I think making the Gen 4 games in this weird chibi style was a misdirection. I think they should have done an HD 2D direction. That's great as it's doing. Even if Square Enix, as we said, developed a Pokemon game, I'd love to see what that would be like, right?
Right, yeah.
I know Pokemon is a JRPG, but more of a classical party-based JRPG. What that would be like, where you have your guys line up and their guys line up.
Or if not like that, you can do something more like Pokemon, or like Final Fantasy Tactics,
Yeah.
or do a Pokemon game in the style of Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's like an action RPG more than it is, more than it is a turn-based one.
And
you
can take direct control over your mons. But just like something with a sprite-based direction, I think would be gorgeous for Pokemon. And I looked at something like Octopath, and I'm like, that, but Pokemon would be beautiful.
Right.
So I think something in that direction would be great.
Well,
Personally,
I completely understand where you're coming from with the mainline games. I don't think that they should completely get away from the mainline games just because
they
that's
do
the
exist for a reason.
Yes, they do, and there's a reason as to why they sell. Because they do. The thing that I would love to see the most, honestly, would be something that actually incorporates co-op. A little bit more co-op.
That would be cool, like a co-op Pokemon game. Yeah, that's cool.
So we're not necessarily playing just by yourself, but you could also play with other friends. And I think the MMO would be a fantastic option.
Yes.
I really would. And honestly, I really do believe that they should focus on the Pokemon games the Pokemon that they currently have, or the generations that they have had before.
Right.
Because those are the reasons as to why you had your main success in the first place, right? So, just focus on generations 1 through. I'm gonna go extended to 6, just because there's a lot of people that do say love 6, and then just just focus on what you have right now, and just keep playing. The bits, or just playing the straws with what you could do with those Pokemon, rather than trying to completely innovate new Pokemon.
Not to dismiss 4 through 10, but there are people who love these Pokemon. But I think I agree. They should focus more on what we got and expand that. Right? You have a clearly very solid fucking ground.
Yes.
To walk on. Now you can go anywhere, right?
Yes.
It feels like they've been stuck in square one since 1997.
The thing that I truly would love to see would be a multi-regional Pokemon game.
Which is probably what we're getting, right?
I really do hope that we do, but those are also just rumors. They're not actually confirmed on what the timeline would be. And there's a reason as to why Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Gold and Silver were such big games at the time. And it's because they had 2 different generations in the span of one game. And that's the reason. There's a reason as to why it's so expensive on the markets nowadays, and it has such a high product value, is because they're highly sought after games. And if you just focus on the idea of going from region to region, or just somehow do it to where you're more multiplayer rather than focusing on a competitive scene, then I do not necessarily multiplayer, but just being able to play with your friends.
Right.
Like that. It's going based off of those would provide you with a multi-billion-dollar product, possibly. So
I agree with it. I think it's a solid take. What is the best thing the Pokemon company has done in the last 5 years, and why? Now that's a really solid question.
It's a really solid question, and it's honestly one that I'd have to think about. So
you can go last.
Nick, you can go.
I haven't played it yet, but I can like the idea of a cozy game, right? And I think Copia being what it is, as almost this fusion of Animal Crossing meets Minecraft meets Pokemon, is a good different direction for Pokemon. It is kind of a divergence of what we've been doing, a divergence from the mainline series games, and just something that's different. It's still very casual, it still appeals directly to your Pokemon Go players, but at least it is different. It feels different. It has a different flair and vibe to it. And like that's probably what I would say as like my favorite thing in the last 5 years, because it shows that innovation is still possible within this IP. It shows that there's still a way to make something new out of something that has been iterated upon 30 straight years.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and I've probably said this a million times in this podcast already, like, I would love to see something different, and I like when the direction Pokopia takes. I like Legends Arceus. I think that's interesting as well.
Did that come out in the last 5 years?
I mean, you could probably say Legends
so.
Arceus and Legends ZA. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Legends ZA wasn't a bad idea, but I don't think like I said,
it's just more Legends gameplay, right? Like,
it's really restricted.
Yeah.
So
like, I like the idea of them doing stuff that's different, and I like when they do interesting stuff. I even like Pokemon is it Unite, the like
that was
Dota
really
style.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a League of Legends.
Yeah,
style
and then
game.
there's also that other free Pokemon fighting game. I think it's like Pokemon Champion.
Yes. I think it's Champion X or something like that.
Yeah,
Masters
like I think
or something.
that's the
Masters
place.
DX, I think it was.
Yeah, that's the place to do that kind of stuff. You know, it's like doing spin-off games that are easy to make with the current animations you already have and the models you already have created and just putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and there was a Pokemon like fighting game that actually came out. I can't remember.
Was it
exactly.
Pokemon Tournament?
I think it was.
It came out
on the Wii U.
Yeah, it was like a combo-based game as to where
it's like
Pikachu versus
right.
Mario. Yeah.
That's a cool way to do things too. Like, I want
that game came out forever and a half ago, though.
Right, and it's like to kind of go back to the game that you've been shitting on a little bit. Pokemon Go is a great direction for Pokemon. You know, like as much as like it does a lot to the.
Here's the thing: is that like
I wasn't shitting directly on Pokemon Go.
When they were going on Pokemon Go and trying to.
They caught lightning in a bottle with Pokemon Go, right?
They did because it's more of a. It more appealed to the massive public because Pokemon it has such a massive IP and there's a lot of people that know it.
Well, it was also a generation of people liked. It started with a generation of people liked, which is a misfire. Don't get me wrong, but like started with a generation of people liked. It was during a time where a lot of people were very divided and a lot of people were very upset. Like. Love or hate Trump or whatever, but that was the year that things started like escalating in politics, so people needed an escape. And Pokemon Go was a great way to do it. It was a year where we needed something like that. Like there's nothing better than walking around a park with your friends or whatever, and you guys are all playing Pokemon Go, and you all find a Charmander that one of you gets a shiny one, and you're like, oh, I fucking got a fucking shiny Charmander. Right. Like. There's something special about the game, and that's not in the last 5 years, but like, it's good to have something like that,
Yes.
Like, and I'm not saying focus on mobile because that's not my jam. I'm not a mobile gamer.
I didn't hate Pokemon Go when it first came out. I played Pokemon Go for a good bit there. The thing that really drew me away from the game was the battle style that it had for it.
Yeah,
sad,
but that's not really what people play Pokemon Go for.
Not
really,
obviously,
there's obviously. It's in the game for a reason. There's a subset of people that love playing. There's people who play professional Pokemon Go. Like there are people who like min-max the fuck out of that game. But in reality, it's just you tapping into it, right? But that's not what the casual player's doing. No. They're spinning their Pokestops so that they can get Pokeballs and potions and stuff like that to catch more Pokemon and collect what they can. And that's kind of the easy thing to do. Let's log in for 5 minutes, catch a Pokemon, see what they got around.
Yes.
Or a reason to get your friends together if you have a bunch of people who like playing Pokemon Go.
The Pokemon Go was what they wanted Pokewalker to be. Right.
Right.
Yeah, and the technology just wasn't there at the
time.
Right. And love or hate Pokemon Go, it did do a lot for the franchise. In
terms of relevancy, especially
because I think it was at a lull for Pokemon, right? It was right after Gen 5, right?
It was after Gen 6.
It was after Gen 6, and it was at a lull. Things were kind of dying down. People weren't talking about it.
The 3DS had a weird launch.
The 3DS is a weird console in general with a weird launch.
Right.
Not a lot of people were jiving with the 3D direction that that
And the
Nintendo was
3DS
going.
ended up working out selling very well. It was a great library, but
Yes,
like
I agree.
like it took a while for that momentum to get going, and especially when X and Y came out, the 3DS was in a weird spot. I think the sales were starting to pick up, but like again, it wasn't a weird spot. I think Pokemon Go was huge. I say for like especially millennials who like they grew up playing the older Pokemon games. They grew up with their Game Boys playing Pokemon Gold, Silver, Red, Blue, right? And they're like, oh, Pokemon! I haven't thought about that in forever. I'm gonna go try this free app, and I'll just walk around my park and catch Pokemon. And I think in terms of relevancy, it was huge for that because I think a lot of those people ended up buying Switches for $200 for a Christmas one year and a Black Friday sale, and then they ended up playing Pokemon Let's Go, and the whole thing kind of piles on top of itself, right?
Right, like love or hate the direction that Pokemon Go took the franchise. I still think it's a net positive because it got more eyes on Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, it didn't need fucking help. It's Pokemon, but like, it went from top 5 biggest franchises to the biggest franchise, right? Like, Pokemon will never be the same because of Pokemon.
I never said that Pokemon Go was a bad thing. I'm just saying Pokemon changed.
I don't know, you were shitting all over it.
I said Pokemon
I
changed.
personally don't think it was a bad thing, but it definitely changed the direction of Pokemon. Not
Forever,
necessarily for the worst, but like the main series games were changed completely and for the worst. For that reason.
And that leads us into the next main series game.
I'm gonna go off the last question because I didn't actually answer that real quick.
No, you're good.
I honestly, the last 5 years, I'm pretty sure this came out in 2021, maybe 2022, but Pokemon Legends Arceus, 2022, yeah, that's when it came out. I personally absolutely love that game just because it was really cool as to how they unfortunately didn't bring in any megas, which is something I really wanted to happen for Sinnoh, but they brought in a whole new idea as to where there's like it's the alpha Pokemon.
Right.
That was really cool and a new innovation.
There's so many great things that did.
Yes, and it was really cool. Even though it was just a bigger Pokemon, it still brought a sense of idea as to how these this specific Pokemon, like you can find an alpha Infernape in the middle of an island with a whole bunch of Chimchar just walking around it. Like that is so cool as to where it's just like it's the leader.
It's world building
or something
informed by the world. You know, like Infernape tribe that like all worships one Infernape and all these Chimchars are like it's interesting stuff. You know, it's what I said earlier where the world is informed by the storytelling. You know, like so that's. I love that stuff. You know I love that stuff. So like that's fantastic.
Of course.
But
going into the next question, we're kind of tapping it off here, but we go basic questions here. What are your hopes for Winning Waves?
My big thing is an interesting world. I don't like at this point you love or hate the Pokemon designs. Like there's gonna be one Pokemon design that's gonna piss somebody off. It's gonna always happen. It never doesn't not happen, right?
Absolutely.
But my hope for Wind and Waves is that it's an interesting tale that does something with Pokemon that does something more. It learns from Legends Arceus. It learns from Pokopia and does things that make things more interesting.
Yes, I agree.
So,
I hope it works. Because
that's a big thing.
Because with Pokemon nowadays, you don't know if these games are gonna run right. You don't know if these games are not gonna be glitchy or not have problems. I just hope it gets out the door day one and is functional. Because I know that's not a guarantee for every Pokemon game, and it's sad and pathetic for me to say that, but it's true. It's very true.
I mean, the hopes are a little bit higher just because it's based off. It's going to be released on the Switch 2. So it has a higher engine and a little bit better.
I think that introduces its own problems of the first game developed for a new machine, right?
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
I think that introduces its own problems and things, but again, we'll have to see. I just hope it works for the people who want it.
Completely fair. I'm very curious. I'm hoping that they bring back the exploration aspect
the open
of the
world?
game.
Yeah,
not necessarily just the open world, but just a new world that actually intrigues the fans, or just
basically what you said.
Yeah, what I said, informed storytelling. You know,
like it's more as to where like I want to bring back that sense of adventure, right? As to where it's not necessarily focusing on the story. I mean, I would love to have a great story, of course, but that's a tall tale these days, unfortunately.
Right.
I would like to be able to see myself be able to walk around the world and be able to actually see like, oh wow, this is a really cool area. I want to explore that and just like feel that way throughout the entire game, right? Because I haven't felt that way about a Pokemon game in a long time. And don't get me wrong, I felt that way a little bit about Scarlet and Violet, but it's not necessarily it wasn't the game that really drew me in every single moment, right? Like there were some cities that were so mundane and didn't really capture what I was wanting to see from that region with the first open world Pokemon game.
I mean, look at the design of, not to go all the way back to the original 151, but like, you know, like how, like, what's that fucking town with the ghost tower in it? You know, what else?
Oh, Lavender Town.
Yeah, Lavender Town. You know, like, dude, that feels so informed by its area. You know, it's in the middle of woods. There's a lone tower. You suddenly are asking questions like, why is there this fucking lone tower in a couple buildings, right? Like,
And the music made you carve your eyes out.
music made you carve your eyes out.
Well, that was the creepypasta back in the day, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I thought you'd
That was
pick up
for-
on that.
No,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
listen, you guys are a little bit younger than me. I'm a little past the creepypasta times, but it's fun. Anyways, but like, you know, like, it's informed storytelling. You know, the world is not held down by the fact that like it is a united region, but more like region has different and interesting places to go, and you want to go explore and see what they have to offer. You know, like, and that makes you want to do the side quests and stuff like that, right? You know, it makes you want to go into the tower and figure out like what's going on at the tower.
Absolutely.
Like they're saying there's a fucking ghost in the tower, right? Like, makes you want to do stuff, you know, and that's exactly what I think Pokemon needs, and that's
I agree.
Is like make it interesting and make people want to play the fucking game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a tower that they had in the they had this tower in the middle of the wild area in Sword and Shield that was rather intriguing, and I actually I was so hoping that it would be something fun and interesting for the game.
Right.
You couldn't even go inside the tower.
That sucks. That's
It is-
stupid.
That's
it was
lame.
So
That's
awful.
lame. Or like in
Well, that's like the thing that makes a lot of games work as well as they do, right? Like, I think of something like Skyrim, right? Where Skyrim, almost everything in Skyrim is explorable, right?
Yeah.
Where, like, you know, you see this random, creepy-looking cave, and you can go in there. You can see what's in there. You can loot the chest. You can look at the books. There's a story.
Sucks.
Have you played Skyrim?
Yes. Go ahead.
I don't love Skyrim either, but
Skyrim
it's whatever.
sucks, but it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, it's probably a video, by the way.
Oh, that is a future video.
I love that title right there.
It's such a great title because it's so accurate. But Skyrim has these super explorative elements of like, yes, you have these things off the beaten trail. Go explore them, go see them. And like Bethesda game design is so borked. But that's one element of Bethesda game design that works very well is they try to make almost every level of the experience explorable. And
Right.
you want to explore it, right?
It's the same thing with Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is my favorite game of all time. But Tears of the
You two
Kingdom
have that in common.
Tears of the Kingdom is so fucking good. God, I love that game. It's a sandbox where you can do literally anything with it, but you also can do anything with it, right? Like, you know, it is so open. It's such like a concept more than it is anything, right?
This guy being a pussy and not wanting to go to the depths.
I hate
Oh, I love the
I'm
depths.
bad,
so
at,
fun,
I'm
dude.
bad at games. I hate the depths.
That's fair. You know what? Okay, this is a weird tangent. My dad played Tears of the Kingdom multiple times.
Yeah.
Without the HUD.
Holy shit.
Yeah, my dad's fucking crazy.
So he didn't know what was happening in the depths when his heart started getting screwed up?
No, he did after the first time he played it was whatever, but he's played it multiple times at this point without the HUD, so he's just like
He's one of those.
running blind, right?
I used to know
He
someone.
wants the actual experience.
He wants it unfiltered, you know?
Yeah.
I used to know someone. You're gonna know who I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna bring it up the channel. I used to know someone who was like, "You gotta play The Witcher 3 without the HUD." I'm like, "Why would I do that?"
Oh yeah, that's fucking crazy. No,
Um,
but like, you know, like that's the stuff that Pokemon needs to do. It's like, you know, stuff that like leaves you wanting more and doing interesting stuff. You know, like I don't need them doing fucking weird devices that make the game a very huge weird sandbox, but I
Right.
do need it to make sense with the world. You know, like
Exactly.
oh, dying.
I mean, that's a lot for a Pokemon game, but it's not it's also just the small aspects or the small little portions of that would be fantastic. It would change the game dramatically as to what's happening today.
Right.
As compared to today.
With that being said,
Let's go ahead and cap it off with a very easy one. I know this has been a long podcast, but I'm gonna extend it a little bit more. What's your top 3 favorite Pokemon?
We gotta do it. We gotta do a
It's
top
hard
3.
I can do
it's
it.
hard to do just one for me, so I'm gonna go top 3.
Go top 3.
That's
Let's
fine.
hear it.
Top 3. Okay, so number 3. I need to think about number 3. I would probably have to go with. So I'm gonna go with Jolteon.
banger.
I love Jolteon. I absolutely love it because. Who doesn't love Eevee for one thing?
I think we're all gonna have an evolution on ours.
I don't think I will.
I think I do.
I absolutely would have one right here, which is Jolteon, and I love electric types. I absolutely love it. Number 2 is Turtwig.
Really?
Turtwig
Yes.
Turtwig is so fucking good, honestly.
I love Turtwig. He's the first starter I ever chose with Diamond.
Yeah.
And out of any Pokemon game ever, which is Turtwig, I do love the design for Torterra is phenomenal. I love him so much.
That evolution line is so good. Honestly,
Yes.
Gen, if there is anything to really gloat about Gen 4, is their evolution lines are fucking incredible.
And I cannot believe that they
You
couldn't
know,
give the Megas.
like
why would
Piplup
you?
all the way to Empoleon.
Can you, dude? The significance with Empoleon too is where he has the trident on his head and he's the Emperor of the Sea. For fuck's sake, that's so awesome.
It's cool stuff.
It really is, and I cannot believe that they butchered that whole opportunity where they could have given them Megas.
Yeah.
The whole design from Infernape is based off of Wukong.
Yeah.
And you could easily make him look even more like Wukong with his Mega.
Right.
They chose him not to. The whole description in the Pokedex of Torterra is he's the continent Pokemon.
Right.
So, I just don't understand that part. And then number 1, it's been the same ever since I was a kid. Pikachu, come on.
Really?
That's crazy. That's a crazy.
I'm a basic fucker, but
That's fine. No. Nick, you got yours?
Oh yeah, I got mine. My number 3. I love this dude. Just a Gen 4 classic, Garchomp.
yeah, we gotta love
Garchomp's my
We
boy.
gotta love.
He's got a great Mega though too, right?
He is.
Mega Garchomp is cool.
He has 2.
He has 2 Megas. Garchomp has so much damn aura. One of the best Pokemon designs of all time. And on top of being one of the best Pokemon designs of all time, just a great Mon too, right? I love the fact that you can only get the Gibbles under this one cave, under this bridge, in the middle of Sinnoh. It's the only place you can get them, and you have to train
That's
them.
also really fun.
I
when
found
Pokemon
out my
does
first
something.
attempt playing
You-
Pokemon.
I'll never
too.
forget.
I was so happy when I found a Gibble there. Now, don't get me wrong. And Diamond Pearl was a piece of shit because it didn't let you get it until it's fucking Gym 6.
Right.
It's like, fuck off when they're sitting there at level 20. But whatever.
I like when Pokemon do specific weird things for you to get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
that's
You
true.
have to train with a friend in order to get a Gengar.
Yes,
you know,
especially fucking. I know you love this Ruby and Sapphire with Bagon, dude.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, Garchomp definitely my number 3. When I played this game when I was 12, I'll never forget being with my childhood best friend. He goes, "We're gonna go." He's like, "You want a Garchomp?" I'm like, "Fuck yes, I want a Garchomp." Like, we gotta go to this cave, do this particular thing, and I got one, and I love Garchomp. He's so cool.
That's understandable completely.
My top 2 are both gonna be Gen 5. My number 2.
That's crazy.
My number 2 and one, if I can think of one Pokemon that every single time I played Black and White or Black and White 2, I'm like, I gotta get him, right? Every single time I'm going to get this guy is Escadrill. Escadrill's my homie.
That's understandable.
I love Escadrill.
There's a reason why he has a Mega.
He's great Mon, banging design, dude. It's so simple, but it just works. He's so much fun. He's got a great yell too. It sounds like a drill bit in the craziest way ever. I love Escadrill. And my number 1, my first Pokemon ever is Samurai, and I know he sucks, but I love the design, and he was my first one, so I feel.
There's a reason why they gave him a Hisuian form with a dark and water type. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
That design is fantastic.
Right. All right. Top 3. My trans icon. Sylveon's my third favorite Pokemon. Sylveon's awesome. I love a fairy type.
Very nice.
I love it. I just love that design. I think it's great. Obviously, a weird connection to the trans community, and I love that stuff. I love like when they embrace something like that, and I think that character is just super, or that like design is so great.
Yeah.
Number 2 is, speaking of Aura, my boy Lucario.
Yeah, I knew one of us was gonna say him. Lucario's awesome.
Love Lucario. First off, he's one of the first legendaries I've ever gotten, or he was a legendary for a while, but
No,
he's a
he was
rare.
never
He's
a
rare,
legendary.
right?
No,
He is rare.
Yeah, but like
he a
he's
semi?
so.
No, he's not even a pseudo.
He's not pseudo. That's what it is. Because
But
Garchomp was the pseudo in Gen 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The soul pseudo.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's so fantastic. I love the design. The Mega version's awesome too.
Yeah.
To lead into like the anime and stuff again. My favorite Pokemon movie is Lucario and the Mystery of Mew.
Yeah.
Where they go up in the rock tree.
It's a
and
great
like,
movie.
it's a fucking awesome movie. Watch it if you haven't. It's super awesome. Ash has got a great story in that. It's really emotional. I think that Lucario's got a great tale. And I love literally the aura stuff. I think it's so neat, you know?
The Aura Sphere and all that.
Yeah, like, I think it's just such a cool character. And then my favorite Pokemon of all time is Mudkip.
Mudkip?
Mudkip.
Oh, I fucking love Mudkip.
Mudkip, obviously, I love Mudkip particularly.
We
but
all
I love,
picked a starter in our number 1.
Well, of course, you know, there's fucking, how many starters in all these games? It's 10 games with 3 starters and 30 Pokemon, right? Like, that's a lot of Pokemon, right? We're all gonna pick a starter. My favorite starter is Mudkip. My favorite Pokemon is Mudkip. Mudkip has got a great evolution line, obviously, going from water to water ground again. I love Swampert. I love Marshtomp. God, I'm so gassy today. Fuck off. Okay, anyways. I love Mudkip. I think he's just so fun. And every time I would do a Pokemon quiz, you know, it's like, oh, which Pokemon are you? Starting with like, you know, online forums, stuff like that, or like games online, or whatever.
Tumblr.
Right, from Tumblr or whatever, or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. You know, you do the quiz and you take that quiz and it'll tell you which Pokemon you are. I always, even if I change all the questions or all the answers, I would always, forever get fucking Mudkip. He's just ingrained into my soul. You know, like I love Mudkip. I think he's a great.
Do we want to throw? I want to throw some honorable mentions.
Yeah, we can throw some.
I would love to throw Magnezone out as an honorable mention.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Magnezone's an honorable mention. Metagross, honorable mention.
Yeah,
I
Metagross.
love Metagross. I'm gonna throw out Salamence out there.
I was gonna throw out Salamence.
Salamence is great.
Before I got into Garchomp is my favorite pseudo, but Salamence is definitely my second because I saw Salamence the first time in Diamond and Pearl anime and I was in love. I was like, I want that. I want that in my team.
A recommendation I gave to Zach one time when he was searching for a water type. It's just a great like type matching. It's a really great design. It's Tentacruel, even though it's just a double evolution. Like that's a great. That's a great
fantastic.
That's a good one to bring up.
Yes, if you're ever for anybody that's watching that wants to use a Pokemon that's completely unorthodox and you never thought about using before, use Tentacruel because when I actually started using it, it's actually really good.
Especially
really
just for like a
The
first.
poison stuff is fantastic. You know?
Poison definitely helps, but it's more based on just the special defense stat really helps.
Really?
It's
Okay.
really high special defense stat, not to mention the special attack stat's really respectable.
Okay. A couple I guess I have. There's so many Pokemon. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna throw one in there. It's not really an honorable mention for me, but I really do like this Pokemon, Kingdra.
Kingdra's
a fantastic Pokemon.
I mean, you know, obviously a lot of those
Also,
evolutions kind of stick to my brain.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like, if you're looking at a Pokemon that I just love and adore for some goddamn reason, it's most of those bird types, those bird Pokemon that we find.
oh,
in the
flying
ground.
types, yeah.
You know, you got your
Pidgey,
Pidgeys, you got your
Starlies.
Starries, you got yours, you know, like, or your original bugs, you know, your
Yes,
Canopies,
you
your
gotta love
Weedles,
Canopies.
you know.
Oh gosh.
I love.
Okay, so we were talking about Garbodor earlier as to where it's a weird design is really strange. I mean, nobody ever talks about as to how there's a fucking pile of poison in the
Or
original
muck,
generation.
muck
And Grimer. Like,
Grimer,
get the
yes.
fuck out of here. And you guys are shitting on a fucking pile of garbage. You think they haven't done anything like that before?
I could definitely bring up a ton of other ones. Cough Egregious is a deep cut and a really great design.
Right.
I love Luxray from Gen 4. Luxray's not a great
Luxray's
mine, but
fantastic,
always
yeah.
just been a personal favorite of mine.
Electivire is also fantastic.
Electivire is
I love
really
that.
good.
I enjoy
obviously
most of the
Infernape, but-
Hinchuin and Galarian and Alolan variants. I think
Actually-
those all look fantastic.
I actually do really like Cinderace from Sword and Shield. That's actually not a bad design, if you ask me. Now, a lot of people say it's very generic, but I actually think it's really cool, especially with this, with the ability that he has to where like he has an ability as to where you're able to change the typing of that Pokemon after you use the move.
Right.
So like if you're over here using Electro Ball, it becomes the typing, and it implies the stab to that too.
Right.
All right. Well, Zach,
Anyways,
you got some rivals to play.
My last one's Foy Coco. I love Foy Coco. He's my cute little guy.
Foy Coco is actually pretty
I love that design.
I do really like. I kind of wish that I really. So I didn't choose Foy Coco for the reason that I love the design of Ceruledge.
Oh.
Ceruledge is so cool as to where it's a fire and ghost type, and it
Right.
has those swords for his hands. That is so cool.
Right.
Anyway,
But
that's what.
That's right. That's
Productions
correct.
Coming back to you with a Pokemon podcast video.
Wortcast 4,
Wortcast
Downfall
4.
of Pokemon. Well,
Yes.
I am Nick.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Zach.
And this is War Productions. Have a great night.
Thank you for joining us on the Wortcast. Come back next time and subscribe to the channel.